The following program contains names, places, and events that have been anonymized or fictionalized for the purposes of protection and safety. The following program is provided for entertainment purposes only, and any commentary from the hosts are strictly conjecture and should not be held as making any definitive statements about the truth or identity of any particular individuals or circumstances. If you or a loved one are involved in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for support.
Hello, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Welcome back from the Mediterranean.
You guys, I went on a Mediterranean cruise. It was so lovely. We went to Turkey and Greece, Athens, Santorini. We went to Italy, all these really cool places. I got a new tattoo just to commemorate the trip. And it was just so much fun. But
we missed you.
Thank you. While we were gone, there was a hurricane. My roof is half missing, but it's okay. Like, it's not raining into my living room anymore because they put tarps over. So now in the next 6 to 7 weeks, they'll be fixing my roof. So it's fine. Just letting you guys know.
Okay.
Everyone's asking for updates tonight. So here we are. I'll just tell everybody at the same time. Like, everything is fine. And we
for real.
Not a lot of damage, which I'm grateful for. But
I'm glad your mic was okay.
I know. Well, it was weird because I was going to have to take all of my podcast stuff to Europe with me, but my bags, every single one of them were already overweight. And it was like, I wasn't going to be able to come home from the case. I was working in another state because the hurricane and the airports were closed. It was a nightmare.
It was a mess. Well, shout out to Molly for stepping in.
Yes, for holding down the fort. You guys are amazing. I'm so excited that Molly was able to step in. So thank you, Molly. But I'm glad to be back and see your beautiful face.
Oh my God, I missed you. And this story that we're about to hear is a difficult one, but I'm just very lucky that I have both of you. But your energy is like helpful to go through some of these stories with because we like need each other.
Mm-hmm. And this story is a doozy. It is, we're going to have to get into it. But before we do, you guys, don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get exclusive access to like extra information sometimes, if you know what I mean. That's not allowed on the main feed. But also we do live events where you can connect with us, and there's a whole platform, like a whole, what do you call it?
Like a chat.
Yeah, there's like a big chat where we can all connect, and it's just really cool. And you get early access to merch that we're working on and stuff like that. So
anyways, and extra episodes.
Oh yeah, and the 2 bonus episodes a month. I forgot that. That might be something
so
else.
Fun. And I love everyone on Patreon. And we'll keep people updated because this case is, so it's going to be a 2-parter.
Sorry, not sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
It's a long one. We're going to need a breath in the middle. And she's like, it's fresh. Like it happened.
We actually needed a break during recording because that's how intense it got.
Oh, I love her. But I'm still kind of processing it. And she is too. Like it's pretty fresh. It happened not that long ago. So hopefully we can help her, you'll see in any kind of thing moving forward. I will give some content warnings. It's definitely deals with domestic violence and it's probably our most like closest to true crime story that we've had in terms of violence and abuse. So just
you guys, we're talking violence, domestic violence. We're talking talks of suicide. We're talking like all kinds of things that are very, very incredibly, incredibly violent. And I just need you guys to just know that some of the things can be a little bit sensitive. So
yeah.
But at the end of the day, she's here to tell her story.
So spoiler alert, she
doesn't die. The princess doesn't die.
Oh,
she's here. So I'm really grateful for her sharing her story. And also, you guys, I have to tell you, thank you so much for sharing our podcast on your socials. Because every time you share, there's always someone that goes, oh, my friend so-and-so shared this and I have this story. And then this community that you guys are creating by sharing is really, really helping other people get through some of their own trauma. So by sharing, you are just making the conversation bigger and putting a spotlight on it.
This episode especially, I am so hopeful that we're going to take this butthead down. I am so angry that he is just... Anyway,
this is one of those ones you'll want to be on the Patreon for because that's where we're going to be posting updates.
Updates for sure. Yeah. But yeah, if anyone you're like, oh, maybe they're dating him, send this bad boy around. Or if they're dating someone similar, let's, oh, these guys, I don't even know where to start.
Girl. So, okay, we've hyped you up enough. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's hear from our guest.
Give it to Ashley.
Take it away. Okay, Ashley, thank you for being here. We're ready to hear your story. So take us on the journey, girl. Take us away.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. Okay, well, it is early May 2023. I'm 25 years old. I wasn't really looking for a relationship at the time. I was just scrolling through TikTok. A guy I was talking to, we just ended things. So I was kind of just like, I don't want to talk to any men at all, you know? So
Yeah.
I was not looking, kind of just scrolling through TikTok, and come across this guy's page, and I was like, oh, he's really cute. Like, he was riding a little horse, and he was just giving like all the like Casey from Yellowstone vibes.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, he's really cute. So I liked his TikTok, and then he came to my page and followed me and started liking my stuff. And then that led into Instagram, which is where we started actually talking.
Wow. Does this happen? Like, are you somebody that meets people on TikTok and Instagram a lot? Are you like a
No.
DM slider?
No,
It's
never
common
on-
though.
It is.
Yeah, it is. But like never on TikTok. Like Instagram, yeah, I will talk to a ton of people on Instagram. But TikTok, never. I never use this as like a dating form or anything like that. So
Anything's a dating app if you try hard enough.
I'm just saying.
So we started talking on Instagram, and literally the first thing he said to me was, your smile is gorgeous. And then we started talking
Aw.
from there. He, right off the bat, that first day, he was like, I want to meet you and all of this stuff. He was like, when can I come fly out and visit you? And
Oh, wow.
yeah, right off the bat. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, give it a few days or something. Let's talk. So anyways, he wanted to fly out and see me, and he was like persistent on doing that. Well, I still lived with my parents, and my mom was like, you know, we're not having a stranger in our house or anything like this. So me, though, I do love to travel, and I love to like just go out and just have experiences. So I told him this, and he was like, okay, well, if I can't come there, I will fly you out to me. So I tell my mom, I was like, well, if you won't let him come here, I'm going to go out there and visit him.
What did she say?
She was just like, do whatever you want to do. But like, I mean, I was only going out there for a weekend. So it was like,
It's like a first date.
it wasn't anything crazy. He talked to her on the phone before. So like, it was kind of like, she wasn't okay with it, but she was just like, whatever, do what you want to do, have fun. So
I need to know like what you knew about him. Now my mom is coming out. Like,
Yeah.
how old is he? What's his, like, how much did you know going into flying to see him?
I knew all the general information. Me being like a realtor and everything, I looked up, we have a separate app. So I looked up his background and stuff like that, because we have to look up people's background before we show them houses.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted. This is what I like to hear.
Yep.
So it'll show like, it's so in depth. Like it'll show all their phone records, places they lived, all the cars they've driven, like all that stuff, and all their mugshots or what.
and all their mugshots too. No big
Realtors
deal.
can be PIs.
They really can. You have no idea.
Mackenzie, you should add that. You should get your real estate license. So then when you're on surveillance, you could also be like taking stock of the neighborhood.
I'm just saying.
Yes, I look him up and nothing comes up. So I'm like, he has a clean record. And that's what I was like trying to tell my mom about him coming out here. I was like, I've looked him up. Like, he doesn't have any record. He seems like a great guy and everything. So the day before me going out to visit him, he had sent me flowers to my work. So it's just crazy because he lived so far away from me, and he even put in that effort to do that. So then I fly out, and right off the bat, we like go to a little restaurant, just have lunch and have a couple of drinks, and then immediately right after that, we go back to his house and we like just hook up. Okay.
Good for you. Okay. Is he drunk or did he just have like one drink?
We had like a whole tester flight thing of
So
all
we're
the different
white girl wasted.
You're feeling
Yes.
good.
Okay.
So and I don't know, I normally don't do that, but I was like feeling it, didn't know if I was going to come back out there again. So I was like, might as well test drive it before I buy it. So we're at his house afterwards, and we had dinner reservations. Well, we fell asleep and didn't make the dinner reservations. So he's like, well, how about I just take you over to my parents' house and let you meet everybody?
Oh, okay.
Now? Wow.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're really jumping the gun. It's the first day I'm here, first day I've ever met you. But I was like, also, family is important to me, and I like to see how their family is because if I don't like the family, I don't want to be with someone, if I can't be around them. So I was like, hey, this will be good for me to get to know him and his environment and all of that.
Sure, yeah. You guys, the holidays are coming up. So I want to talk to you about this new website that is advertising with us. It's called Uncommon Goods. You guys, they have the coolest little like gifting ideas. So think of holiday shopping stress free. This website has original handmade, really, really cool gifts. So if you're someone who's like, I just can't find something for this one person, you will find something for everything here. Hannah, didn't you find something that you were talking about earlier?
My family got my grandpa a book of New York Times cover pages for the day he was born. And it's like, it shows obviously his year and then like everything that's happened on his birthday from the New York Times. It's a cool present. So you can do a lot of customizable type stuff. Yeah. And he's a nerd about history. So he likes that, but they've got everything. Where was this website my whole life?
I know. You can get custom made bread cookies and put a nice little message on them or like an anniversary date or something, like super personalized stuff. And it looks really, really fun. I'm so excited to get some of their stuff for the holidays because I'm a gift giver, but I like to find stuff that's specific to someone. Do you know what I mean?
That's so maybe uncommon, perhaps.
Uncommon good. So you're supporting artists and small independent businesses, and many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out. Can you guys believe it's like, hello, November holidays. It's time to get going.
How good would it feel to have your presents done like soon? Oh, I've never in my life been that ahead of the game, but I feel like this is the year.
I want to do it super soon. But I really love the idea of personalizing something. So think of high quality, unique, handmade, made in the US products, things that are meaningful that maybe you wouldn't normally think of. So uncommon, out of the ordinary gifts.
Can I also add that I've always had trouble finding gifts for like people I work with, like my boss sometimes.
Oh, because you don't want it to be like too intimate.
You don't want it to be like too much money. Like when I was an assistant, it was like, you guys know what I'm making. Like, I don't want to get you something like, I never knew what to get a boss like that. So this would have saved my life.
These are really nice gifts. And they have kids stuff too. And like stuff that, stuff for kids to make, like book lovers, diehard sports fans, things like that. So these are not just like the same selections that you could just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. And they've donated more than $3 million to date, which I think is incredible. I love that so much.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/TDD. That's uncommongoods.com/TDD for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We are all out of the ordinary.
So Mackenzie, you're a PA.
Yes, I am.
I think the people know that. How much of our information is online that we don't know about?
Yes. All of it, you guys.
Yes.
Yes. So much of your private personal information is out there on the internet, all willy-nilly for anyone and everyone to see. And it's more than you think. It is your name, your contact info, social security number, home address, information about your family members, people you're associated with. And it's all being compiled by data brokers and sold online.
Oy, oy, oy. And so you know where to find all this stuff. And so do these data brokers, but we don't.
And they make a profit off of it. Like your data is a commodity. Anybody on the web can buy your private details.
So how do we stop it?
If you think about it, that can lead to identity theft. That's a big way to do identity theft and harassment, unwanted calls. Like, how did they get my phone number? But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. So as a person who exists publicly and who is a private investigator, I know how much information is out there. I'm hyper aware of the safety and security, especially online. And it's easier than ever to find that information. So Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from hundreds of data brokers, right? So it basically makes it unavailable to those people. So it makes it less attainable online. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and the Delete Me experts take it from there. So Delete Me will send you regular personalized privacy reports showing what information they found, where they found it, what they removed. But it's not just a one-time service. It's always working for you in the background. So it's constantly monitoring and removing the personal information you don't want on the internet. So it does all the hard work of wiping your and your family's personal information from those data broker websites. So if you ever go online and it says, pay this much dollars to get this information, that's a data you're paying. But it's so easy to get.
We've used this. I really like it. We've also helped some of our guests get set up with it when they've dealt with some harassment and stalking from online perpetrators, and they've had great experiences with it. So we can personally vouch for it. And I'm glad that it's been able to help some of our guests.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that peace of mind. So take control of your data, keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me, now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/TDD and use promo code TDD at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/TDD and enter code TDD at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/TDD, code TDD.
I go over there and I fell in love with it was only his mom and dad and sister there. So it wasn't his entire family. But I meet all them and had a great time. First of all, like where they lived was in the country and everything. So when I went to their house, it was just very it made me feel like home. And his family was just so warm and welcoming and making me feel comfortable. Like I get nervous around families, meeting them for the first time. So when I went over there and they were just like greeting me with hugs and everything like that, that first night was really good just to get to know them. It just made me feel really welcomed because they would ask me about my family and, just really try to get to know me and involve me and everything, and not just kind of like leave me off to the side and, oh, this is just another girl or whatever. I grew up in a broken family. So to have that feeling of family again, going over there and being with his family and everything was just kind of like that sense of being one big happy family again. So I really like that. So this is Mother's Day weekend. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Mom, I'm flying.
Oh my gosh. And now you're like with his family on a holiday. Wow.
Yes. The next day was a Saturday. And his brother is having a baby. So he was having a diaper party. So I met his entire family that day and all of his friends and stuff like that. And then they have a skeet shooting contest.
Okay.
So it's like real country.
Yeah, it is.
So we're out there, and keep in mind, this is the second day, okay? He comes up to me. We're sitting on the golf cart thing. He comes up to me and is like, I love you.
Okay. How long has this been?
Like 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours. Okay.
And you've been talking how long?
2 weeks.
And how much older?
Wow, okay.
I actually don't know that he's older than you, but I'm just assuming. Is he older than you?
No, I'm older. I was only like 3 months older than him.
Okay, but you're the same age. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he says that, and I'm taken off guard. I'm just like, oh, thank you. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I'm only going to say that if I feel it. So
yeah.
Anyways, he kind of got mad at that night and was just like, why didn't you say it back? And so I told him, I was like, I'm only going to say it if I feel it. And then the next day was Mother's Day. So I went to church with his family and all of that stuff. Well, then I have to leave, and coming home, I was just like, oh, okay, like that was fun. He was a little bit love bombing, but it was a fun time and everything. Well, on the way to the airport, he asked me, he was like, it was Memorial Day weekend that next weekend. And he was like, me and my family always go up to the lake house and do a big thing for Memorial Day, and I would love for you to come back. And I was like, okay, sounds fun. So I was like, go to the lake house, like all that stuff. I was like, yeah. So we booked my flight to come back. And
he's paying for these flights?
Yeah.
Yeah. He paid for the first one. The second flight, I think we went like half and half on.
Okay.
This is fast. He's pedal to the metal.
Yes.
But you sound like you're kind of having fun. You're like, I'm not thinking about marriage. I'm just like, oh, this is a fun summer. Like, we'll see.
Getting to know this person. So I'm like, this is fun. I get to go somewhere new and do things with them and live that life for a little bit. So it is fun. So I go to their house and I get out there and we had a good time. I think I was there 3 full days or something. The last day we were about to leave the lake house. So he started like just being kind of controlling at the lake house in front of his entire family. So he would ask me, he would be like, can you go make me a plate of food or whatever, which I will literally do anything for my man. But like, I have no idea where the food is in this house or where the plates are or anything like that. So I'm like, now I have to go up to his family and be like, hey, where is this? Because your son wants it or whatever, you know?
Was he kind of entitled in the way he was asking? It wasn't like a cute, like, babe, will you get me like some water? It was like, hey, can you get me some food?
Yeah, if it was like one time, whatever. But he asked multiple things. And I don't know, it's the second time I'm out there. And I feel like the guy normally puts their best foot forward and is like, let me do this for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God, you're right. He should be having you sit down.
Yeah.
Yes, like, why am I doing this stuff for you? And if you're busy and you can't run inside and get some food, I'll go make you some food. But you're sitting there not doing anything and you can't walk 2 steps and get your own food. So anyway.
Was he like testing you?
I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm all the way upstairs packing our bags. And he comes upstairs from the kitchen and was like, hey, will you go downstairs and make me a plate of cake? And I was like, dude, you literally just came from downstairs. Like,
what is his?
You couldn't make it yourself? I'm like, I'm packing for us right now. So that turned into a whole argument. So we finally get in the truck and we're heading back to his house. And the whole truck ride is silent. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm kind of annoyed because you just boss me around in front of your family. And I just don't know how to react, really. So we finally pull into a restaurant and we start talking finally in the truck. And he was like, you know, what's wrong with you and all this stuff? And I was like, well, you just embarrassed me in front of your entire family. And I was like, I will gladly do these things for you later on in the relationship. I was like, but this is our second date. I don't know why you're asking me to do all this stuff for you.
Yeah, it's freaking weird.
Yeah. And he was like, well, I just want more of a traditional relationship where the woman cooks and cleans and does like all that stuff and I do all the work. And he would just praise this traditional relationship, which I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with not having a job, but like in this day and age, you need to have a job.
Yeah, but if you guys agree on it. Oh, yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't just like expect that. It's like a conversation you have to have.
So then he's like, well, my brothers, their wife and their girlfriend does these things without them even having to ask. And I was like, well, that's great. But again, our second date, okay? And I'm crying and he's just like, it's okay. Like, I just know that I need to give you more time. And I'm like, more time to bow down to you and be your servant? Like,
right?
I don't know. I'm just kind of thrown off by all of this.
Yeah.
We go inside and eat, and then we go to like a little ice cream shop afterwards, and we're in the drive-through of this ice cream shop. And he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, I told him no, because I was like, dude, this is such a bad timing. I was like, you just made me cry and now you're asking me to be your girlfriend. Like, this doesn't make sense. So that like hurt his feelings, I guess. And I could see that. And I was like, oh, no, like, I'll be your girlfriend, like playing around with him. And he's like, no, you're going to have to ask me because I'm not going to get rejected again and all of this stuff.
Oh, so he's 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
So we're just like going back and forth. He was like, you're going to have to ask me and all this stuff. I just like leave there and not being his girlfriend, I guess. Like, we're just kind of like still talking because we both are hard-headed and I'm not asking him to be my boyfriend. So coming home that weekend, kind of not knowing like where I wanted to stand in that relationship. Like, I didn't really know if I even wanted to be in something like that or be controlled in that way. So after I came home, I had this thing happen with my dad and I really needed support. And I called him and I was telling him about it. And I was crying my eyes out on the phone to him. And he was just like, I don't remember exactly everything he said, but I remember he was just like talking to me so comforting. And he was just like, listen, you can't help this. Like, it's not your fault, like all of this stuff. And kind of just like leaning into me. And letting me cry and show that emotion, because I don't cry a lot, and I definitely don't cry around other people. So when I let it all out to him, I felt vulnerable and like I was letting my walls down. And the way he spoke to me was really comforting. And I felt like I could now talk to him about everything. So after talking with him and everything, I felt like, I wanted to try see what this relationship could be and how things could grow. And I felt like giving him another chance and giving it a try. So we started really getting serious after that. We were like dating, but he wanted me to move out with him. He kept saying he wanted me to move out as soon as possible. And my job here, I needed to wait until after summer before I could do anything. And I told him that. And he was just like, basically saying, you hate your job anyways. Like, why are you in it? Why don't you just quit and move out here? And all of this stuff. And I was like, well, it would look good on me if I stayed the extra 3 months. And it would also give us time to get to know each other.
Yeah, because you are still, if it's not even the end of summer, still very early.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, this is like a month into us talking, if that. And both of us had a dream. Well, I think it was his dream, but my dream was to always have rental homes and B&Bs and like do the flip homes and stuff like that, and basically just build like an army of houses. So I had mentioned that to him before, like wanting to have all these different homes and stuff like that, and wanting to start getting into flipping homes. So me being in real estate, I was able to look up homes out there and stuff and see what we could possibly get started on out there. And I actually sat down with his dad and we had a conversation. They were going to help us invest into our first house to flip, because that's the thing. Like, I would love to start doing it here, but you have to have the money to invest into the first home to flip it. So they were going to help with that. And that was basically just going to start my dream career. So he was like, well, let's come out here and like, let's start all that together. And I was just like, okay, so do I stay here and stay in this job that I hate? Or do I go out there? Because if I go out there, it could go really well or it could go really bad, but I'm not going to know if I don't try.
Yeah.
So,
and you're young.
That tracks.
Yeah, I decided like, okay, I'm going to move out there. So I quit my job here. But before I moved out there, we both had family beach trips planned. And of course, it fell on the same week. So, like, it's not like I could go a week with his family and then he could come a week with mine. It was like on the same week.
Wow.
And so we had planned after the beach trip is when he was going to come here and help me pack up everything and move. So during that week, I told him, I was like, well, I'm going to go on the beach trip with my family because that's going to be the last week I get to see them. And I want to spend that time with them. And honestly, my family didn't have as much money as him. So like the house we were in, me and my sister-in-law were sharing a bed. So like he wouldn't have had a place to sleep anyways. But he made me feel bad. And he was like, well, how about you go half the week with your family and the other half with mine or something. So I was like, okay, I guess I can make that work. So I went the first week with his family. And that ended up being like fun the first couple of days. But we were already getting into so many fights on this trip. Fights about like, he asked me to dry his hair after he got out of the shower and stuff like that. And I was too busy getting ready and I didn't have enough time. And I was like, hey, I don't have time. Like, I'm still getting ready for these pictures. So like, please dry your own hair.
Like, cater to me, dry my hair?
Yes.
Oh.
Like with a blow dryer or a towel? Sorry, I'm still.
Blow dryer. Yeah, because he had like longer hair.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Who the fuck? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Is he a dog?
The hell?
So I was like, I don't have time to do your hair right now. And he was like, well, you just never do anything you say you're going to do.
Ew!
And stuff like,
You never said you were going to do that. He said it.
Rude.
I'm like freaking out right now because I was like, are you really starting a fight over me not drying your hair? Like, do your own hair. It's not that big of a deal.
I cannot.
I would have been like, yeah, I'll do your hair. Bring the clippers out.
Right?
Now we don't have a problem anymore.
No freaking way.
Oh my goodness.
I know you guys have heard me say this before, but your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. And I know this because my husband sleeps really, really hot. I sleep really, really cold. And sometimes neither one of us can sleep because we're just not comfortable. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. So Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long, even with your spouse. Traditional bed sheets also can harbor a lot of bacteria, more bacteria than a toilet seat, which is gross, which can lead to like acne, allergies, stuffy noses, disgusting. But Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning, antibacterial bedding like sheets, pillowcases, comforters, stuff like that. And it actually prevents up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and requires up to 3 times less laundry. So basically, not only can you sleep at a comfortable temperature where you're actually getting sleep, but you can feel clean, which is what I love about it. So stop sleeping on the bacteria and make sure that you are comfortable, and not only comfortable, but luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotels. And they have a lot of colors, which we love. So we sleep comfortably, little bit more clean, and they have a lot of colors to choose from. My husband is their biggest fan because he really does sleep like sweaty, but I sleep really cold. So go to trymiracle.com/TDD to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one or your husband who sleeps really sweaty, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo TDD at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/TDD and use the code TDD to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/TDD to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
So as you guys have heard, especially if you're on our Patreon, we are starting a book club soon, and we'll be reading books that fit in the genre of our podcast. But a lot of you have expressed interest in romance books. So while our book club won't be like a romance erotica book club as much as I would love it. But if you need some of that and you're a reader, you got to go to Dipsea. You've heard us talk about Dipsea. It's an app.
And by reading, we mean listening like me.
Yeah. I mean, audio. I forget even that. Yeah, audiobooks are real. And this app is literally just a huge amount of spicy audiobooks and audio stories in general. And when I say spicy, like spicy. I heard about this app a long time ago and I loved it because it was female founded and its whole angle was by women, for women, but also for really anyone. Like you can find a combo of romance no matter what your needs are, no matter what your fantasies are. And I'm not just talking sexual orientation and gender. I'm talking vampires. I'm talking Greek gods. Like you can get anything you want at Dipsea, but it's so good and it's not cheesy. Like the actors are amazing. And basically this app, it's over 1,000 spicy audiobooks, all crafted by a team of professional writers and top tier narrators. So it's more fun than just having one person read you a story. It's like there's actors and stuff. And yeah, you can have anything. It's got rugged cowboys, Scottish sailors.
Oh, cowboys. You ain't no cowboy.
Yeah, right. What I also like about this app is that it's very easy to explore and very easy to help you explore yourself. They have guided wellness audio. They have some meditations. They have things you can do with a partner and talk about sexual wellness with anyone, really. Like self-touch guides, breathing. Sex is part of health and wellness, and having fun with that by yourself is the first step in having fun with that with other people, in my humble opinion. So what a good way to start. And also they are giving us 30 days free for you guys. For listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/TDD. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to dipseastories.com/TDD, dipseastories.com/TDD.
So that was one little fight. And then the next night, we all had planned to go to dinner by a certain time, by like 5 or 6, I think it was. So we had planned this all day, and I had got up and got ready. Well, he decides that he's going to take a nap before this. So he's still asleep like 30 minutes before we leave. So I was like, okay, let me start waking him up. So I'd go in there like every 10 minutes. I was like, hey, wake up. We're about to leave. And he just would not wake up. And he like yelled at me. He's like, just go without me.
Oh,
so I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he cry about it?
Oh, yeah. His entire family was like, yeah, just leave. Like, he can find a way here. Like, your car's there and all this stuff. So I'll leave and I go to dinner with him. Then I start getting phone calls from him. And he is just like, why the F did you leave me? He was like,
Oh
you
my
left me with
God.
nothing. And I was like, you literally told me to leave. So that was annoying. And then halfway through the week, leave to go meet my parents at their beach house. So I get there, and I kid you not, the first day I get there, like I pull up in the driveway and they're all at the beach. So I just go inside and like throw on a bikini and I go meet them out or whatever. And I'm sending him, I think I FaceTimed him to show him like our house and everything. And he automatically looks at me and was like, why are you wearing that bikini?
No.
And I was just like, the beach? And he was like, I specifically told you not to wear that bikini because it shows too much. And I was like, dude, I'm with my parents. And we're at a beach where the majority of the people there are all like older people. It's like really a retirement town.
Uh-huh.
And also, we
You
could
just
just
want
put
a
a
tan.
period at, we are at the beach, period. Like, what?
Yeah.
So that was a whole day's worth of text and back and forth argument and stuff. And then the next day, me and my family, we all love to go to different breweries and stuff like that. So we go to a brewery. Well, he gets pissed off at this. He was like, why are you at a bar? And it's like 4:00. Okay. It's not like midnight or anything. It's 4:00 in the afternoon.
Jeez.
What does he want you to do? Just sit at home and talk on the phone with him
Exactly.
in a full-length gown that covers your long sleeve and your
In a goose
like,
down
oh my
parka.
God.
Yes. So we get into a fight about that. Well, because my sister-in-law.
He gets into a fight about that. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So she's not my sister-in-law yet, but at this moment, she's my brother's girlfriend or fiance. So we get home and she's in the bed with me. And I was like, I'm just going to let you overhear this phone call because I already know how it's going to go. And I was like, I just want you to hear it. And so I put him on speaker and she's like, he doesn't even know that to this day, but like she heard everything. And I mean, it was like an hour and a half conversation of nothing but him just yelling at me the entire time. He was like, I can't believe you're going to a bar. You know what the bar scene is. And I was like, it's not a bar. Like a bar and a club.
Down.
Like a club is different from a brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
brewery also with your parents.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm just mad I can't be there to protect you and stuff. And I was like, honey, I'm with my parents. They've protected me the past 25 years. I think I can protect myself.
We're fine. We're going to handle it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, we get off that phone call and my brother's fiance looks at me and she's like, this is so bad. Like, that's so bad. Like, why do you want to move out there?
Yeah.
And in my head, because I've grown up partying and drinking and all that since the age of 15, I was like, you know what? Maybe he doesn't want me to drink as much. So like, maybe this is good. Maybe it'll help me not drink as much. Maybe it'll help me mature.
Right.
And maybe I don't like, even though the bikinis I never wore thong bikinis or anything like that. I mean, it's a bikini. It's going to show your cheeks. But I was thinking like, maybe, I shouldn't dress like this and I shouldn't drink this much. So I
because now he's in your head and he's sane enough and you're starting and okay.
And you're like, he's actually maybe making me a better person. Maybe he's a good influence.
Yeah. Maybe this is fine.
Yeah. So I'm like brainwashed, but regardless, I still continue to move out there. So he comes up here and we pack all my stuff and we start heading out for me to move out there with him. And we are like over halfway.
Were you worried at all? We're like, oh, I don't know. Or were you just like, this is fine?
Oh, no, I definitely had a gut feeling.
Okay.
And I chose to not listen to it because I was like, I'm looking at it. I mean, I did really like him, but I also was like the business opportunities and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm like, honestly, all we're fighting about right now is me going to a bar without him or me wearing these clothes. So I'm like, I don't know. I've never been in a controlling relationship, so I guess I didn't see those red flags to begin with.
Well, people who are very controlling can do a good job of making it seem like it's just you disrespecting them or you not meeting their needs. And it doesn't come off like they're, the master and you're the slave. Like that's not.
No, they're really good with their words for sure and can manipulate you. And I learned that. I fell right into it. So yeah, we're like halfway driving out to his house and it's a Monday night. And I was like, oh, it's Monday night. Let's get home and let's watch The Bachelor. And he was like, that is not going to be played in my house. And I was like, dude, this is
what boy, this guy.
Yeah, I was like, I love to watch this. This is what me and my friends always like drink wine and we'll talk crap about too. Like it's my girl time.
Yeah.
I always do. And he was just like, I'm not allowing you to watch that because that's one girl dating 15 guys. And if you're watching
allowing
that,
you,
your head,
oh, honey.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, if you're watching that, you're going to go out and do that. Meanwhile, he's watching Dexter and about
I was going to say.
He's watching Dexter.
That's not how that works. Oh, wow. Man.
I told him right then and there, I was like, I don't like this because I already feel like you're clipping my wings. And he would manipulate me and he would make me feel bad for watching TV shows. And I told him, I was like, we haven't even made it to your house yet. And you're already controlling me and telling me what I can and can't do. And he's like, I'm not controlling you. You should already just not want to do these things. We would fight a lot, but it's also like, I've never fought in a relationship and not had it end in a breakup. Every fight I've been in, we've always just broke up and been done in my previous relationships.
Right.
So now how we were fighting, it was like kind of just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like we can fight and then get over it and be back to normal and like romanticizing The Notebook, I guess,
This is your life partner. You love to hate them. Like it's part of your dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get out there and 4 days after I move out there, it's my birthday. So I'm like, first of all, I'm kind of irritated because on my birthday, we got into a fight because one of my guy friends texted me happy birthday. And I literally told him, I was like, can we not do this? It's my birthday. Like,
yeah, can we just not, right? Just today.
Yeah, I was like, it's literally, you've met all of my friends. I was like, I've never done anything with this guy. Like, I don't know.
But I could see how that could make someone insecure, but also like, let's calm down.
You can't say you're not allowed to.
Yeah, don't say not allowed. Like, that's absolutely not going to work out.
Yeah.
No, I totally can see that too, like how it would make you feel uncomfortable. So that's why I just blocked him. Even though this is my freaking best friend, I blocked him and I removed him off everything. And I was like, will that make you happy? I was like, I can talk to him whenever I come home or whatever. But I was I'm just like, if this will make you happy, I'll just do it. Like, I just don't want to fight on my birthday. Well,
for the love of God, it's my birthday.
That makes me sad.
Let's calm down.
Yeah. And we're just texting back and forth at this point because he's out in the lake. So meanwhile, while I'm in there all by myself, my mom calls me and she was like, hey, are you near him right now? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, I'm going to send you something. I want you to delete it right off of your phone as soon as you get it. And she was like, this is what your dad just sent to me.
Oh, no. What is it? Oh.
I open my phone and it's a mugshot of him.
Wait, you didn't see that before?
No, because it got expunged and dropped. So apparently my app doesn't show things that have been dropped, I guess.
Yeah, they don't. Okay. Y'all, there's a way around that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mackenzie, how do we see that stuff?
Yeah. And well, back then when I looked him up and everything, I thought, oh, this app is good enough. Like it shows me literally everything. So I've seen all I need to see. Well, literally, if you Google his name, it's the first thing that comes up. But I didn't go that far.
You were like, I've seen his TikTok, I've seen his Instagram, I've seen his background check. Wow.
So I see this, and it's just a charge for harassment. My mom was like, just don't tell him about it because I don't want him to get mad at us for sending it to you or whatever, or mad at you. We don't know what he would do. And she was just like, did you know anything about this? And I was like, no, but now I'm scared. Even though it's just a harassment charge, like, I don't know the story at all. So I was like, oh, shoot. So now I'm like looking at him in a different light already.
Yes. Okay.
Does it say when the charge was?
Yeah, it was the previous year. It was like 5 months before we started talking, before all this happened, because it was all so fast. So I see that, and I kind of just keep that in the back of my head, because at the end of the day, it's a harassment charge. Like, it could literally be for anything.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't want to bring this up to him right now. We literally just fought about my guy best friend. I'm not going to bring it up right now and continue this fight on my freaking birthday. So I kind of like forget about it, and I just go on about my day. And we continue to just live life. Meanwhile, he's not going to work at all.
What do you mean?
So because he works for his family, he can like kind of just go as he pleases. So it was both of us just like every day we're trying to move stuff, trying to get like our life going here.
Yeah.
The fights happened so often that it was almost every day. We had a little swing outside, and I would go sit on the swing and debrief out there. And he would come sit beside me, and I would just look at him and I would be like, I'm so tired of fighting. Like, why do we fight every day? This is mentally exhausting. You make me feel crazy. I've never fought like this with anybody else before. And he would look at me too and be like, I don't want to fight like that. Like, I think he really did like to fight or something, because he would start an argument every day. And it was just simple arguments, just him asking me to do things that I was like, you can do it yourself. Like I would kind of stand up for myself in a sense and just be like, no, like, do it yourself. And that's when he would just throw everything back on me. So we just got into a lot of fights about him trying to control me. And I just don't like to be controlled. So I would fight back. And there were some days I just chose to bite my tongue and just bow down and do what he said, because I didn't want to get into another fight. But when I tell you, we got into a fight out of 7 days, we probably got into a fight 4 or 5 days. So it was a lot. And I was going to get into real estate out there. So I was already taking courses to get my real estate license. So he told me I can move out there and he will cover all of my bills and all of that stuff for like 3 months or however long it took for me to get my real estate license there. And he would constantly hold that over my head. So we'd get into a fight and he'd be like, let's see if your bills get paid this month.
Oh no, that's not going to work out, fella. I don't know. That's not going to freaking work out.
You poor thing.
Yeah, that's awful. That is so manipulative and gross.
So this is like 3 weeks into me living out there. We're just going about life. He's not going to work. I'm doing my real estate course all day while he's just out mowing grass occasionally and just random stuff.
Watching Dexter.
Right? Yeah, watching Dexter learning how to kill people.
Literally. So we were like just doing this whole playing house thing, trying to get everything moved in and all of that. So we had a trip planned to go to this competition for a kids league that he coached. And it was like an 8-9 hour drive away. Like it was a pretty far drive. So we had a lot of time to like talk in the car.
Yeah.
And this is when I decide to bring up that charge. I found out about him.
I was thinking, how do you like casually bring that up to someone? Do you just like, I'm curious how you did it.
Well, I told him because my brother was getting married in 2 months. And he was constantly saying like, I want to come with you to the wedding and all this stuff. Let me be your +1. Well, my brother wanted the wedding to only be very small, people that they knew. He didn't even want me to have +1. Some of his friends that had girlfriends weren't even allowed to come because like that's how small they wanted it. So I had mentioned to my brother about it before. I was just like, hey, can he come and be my +1? And my brother was like, no, because initially my dad hated the fact that I was wanting to move out there in the first place.
Sure, of course,
so
yeah.
So my dad hates this guy. Literally, he told me before I left, he was like, I just don't like you being that far out there because if something happens, I can't be there to help you.
Right.
So that being said, my brother knows that my dad hates the guy I'm with. So my brother was like, well, even if he did come to our wedding, our dad's going to be there. And that interaction, like, I don't want them to meet for the first time at my wedding.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I was like, I get that or whatever. Well, on this truck ride, he's just sitting there like constantly telling me, he's like, I really want you to talk to your brother. Maybe he'll like end up letting me come to the wedding and all this stuff, like pushing me to go to get him to come to the
Why is
wedding.
he pushing it so hard?
And you know what he said?
God.
He was like, well, if this is my family and my sister wouldn't let me bring you to the wedding, I just wouldn't go to the wedding.
Ew! No, he
good
needs to
Lord.
quit. Stop it.
And I bring it up in the truck and I was like, hey, so my brother, you know, say he lets you come to the wedding. Like, I will have a conversation with him and say he lets you come. I'm just going to let you know right now that if you meet my dad, there's probably going to be a conversation brought up eventually about your mugshot. And he was like, my what? And I was like, well, somehow my dad found your mugshot and sent it to me. And I haven't said anything about it because I didn't think it would ever be like an issue. But like, you know, now if you're going to meet my dad, I don't want you to be blindsided and thrown off by my dad asking you about it.
Okay, so you came in
So
as
you were like, I'm
helping
on
you
your
out.
team.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was like, well, I'll tell you what happened during that charge. It was literally nothing. And so right then and there, he's telling me that he was in a relationship the year before me. And that girl started dating a cop and would tell that cop that like he was showing up to her house and all this stuff. And just because she told the cop that, he got pissed off and was like, oh, we didn't charge him for harassment and all this stuff. And he also said that when all that happened, like the harassment charge, him and his ex saw each other in a bar and she came up to him and decked him in the face, but she had like a beer bottle in her hand. And so he was going to charge her for assault. So I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, anyways, the harassment charge was nothing you did. So, you know, like, he was like, and I'll tell your dad that too. Like, he literally went into depth about this entire story.
Yeah. My ex was crazy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So that whole week, I went knowing that and everything. I told my mom about it. I was like, oh, yeah, like, he just said it was basically a misunderstanding, all of that stuff. Well, on the way home, one of his friends called him, and his friend was like, my girlfriend has been cheating on me with her ex-husband, and like, I want to fight the dude. He was like, but where can I go that you guys can get me out of it once I get thrown in jail and stuff like that? Because he was like, I'm going to go to jail for fighting and all of this.
That just doesn't, no, don't like it. Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm like hearing all this. And so he's sitting over here saying, oh, well, you need to go to this county and this county because this is where we have the ties with. And so I already know all this stuff and it's like where we lived at. So I was like, okay, so around, he's got like the entire county we live in. So I was like, okay, but I like clearly wasn't thinking anything was going to happen to me at this moment. Like, I'm just like, oh, good to know. Like, he's got the cops by the balls.
Yeah.
So we get back and it's 4th of July. I'm thinking we're going to go out to the lake and we're all going to have a grand old time and it's going to be fun and all this stuff. Well, it was definitely not. I mean, it was just it was a terrible weekend. And I met one of his girlfriends. It was like the only girl I got along with there. And she had asked me to come over and take a shot with her.
Oh, no.
I took a shot with her and that started a whole argument with him. And he got pissed off and he was like, tell me what, because I told him, I said, I have more fun back in my hometown during 4th of July than I do out here. He's like, then why don't you go back out there then?
Okay.
And I looked at him because not only did he hold the bills over my head, he would always say, why don't you just go back then?
But if you did, he'd probably cry about it.
Yeah. So I was pissed off about that and we got into a fight about that. And his way to resolve that was to take me to a little store that it's like a drive-through. You could get a whole gallon of a margarita and to go.
You're in one of those places that has drive-through margaritas. Got it.
Yes, which I loved. Like, that was cool.
That sounds like totally convenient.
Yeah, but anyways, he tried to like get me that, and I was like, you just yelled at me for drinking. Like, I'm not gonna drink right now. So that was a whole nother little argument that happened on July 4th that will play a role later. So all this was July, and we're still just doing life. Like I said, he went to work probably 2 days the entire time I lived out there with him.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And meanwhile, I would cook every night. I would clean the whole house and everything every day. Like I did all the lunch. I literally did everything, which I love because I love to clean and do all that.
Sure.
So
Okay.
like I
You're
was
fine.
playing. Yeah. I
As
was
long as
playing
he's not like
gotta go to-
demanding it.
He's got to go to work though to make this work. Like,
Yeah. So we were living the traditional relationship he wanted. So August 1st, we had this trip planned. We were going to go to float down a river, go to a little cabin out in the middle of nowhere.
That sounds
Go float,
amazing.
go float down this river, go to a concert.
He's gonna
that
ruin it, Amy.
weekend.
He's gonna ruin it. Oh boy.
is it just the two of you?
No, so we were going with his brother and his brother's girlfriend and all of their friends. So we get there and I like FaceTime my mom because this is like it's like made to look really, really old, but there's like 3 parts to the cabin. There's like a main one and then 2 little small cabins on the side.
Okay.
So it's just really, really cute and rustic. So I called my mom and I was like, look at how cute this place is, but it also looks like I might get murdered here. And
she said it.
And I was like, oh God, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Now your mom's like, okay, great. I'll be there right now.
Yeah,
to come
I'm
pick
on
you
my
up."
way to come get you.
So my mom was like, just leave your location on, like all this stuff. Cause
Smart.
she's just like,
Smart. Okay.
just like keep us updated and everything. So we are just getting settled in that night. And meanwhile, I had a drink. He had like 2 drinks and we're outside and they want more alcohol. So I go into town, which is 20 minutes away from us. So I don't know how much he's had to drink while I was gone.
Okay.
But he was drinking straight bourbon. So I don't know how much he had to drink. But I got back and we were like all blowing up the tubes and stuff to go tube down the river the next day. Well, my best friend calls me, and since moving out there and like trying to get our life together out there, I haven't really talked to many people back home. Like I was just so busy out there.
Oh no.
So when she called me, she had also just moved away. So like we both were busy, and this is the first time I've got to talk to her in about a month. So I was like, oh, well, we're not doing anything. Like we're just all chilling at the house. So I'll answer this phone call and just talk to her. So I stay on the phone with her for like 30 minutes and Julian comes up to me and he was like basically saying like, hey, I'm going to get in the shower soon. And I was like, okay, well, let me know when you get in the shower. I'll get off the phone and come get in the shower with you. And he was like, well, why are you on the phone so long? Like everyone's wondering why you're on the phone. I was like, I'm talking to my friend. Why does it matter? I haven't spoke to her in literally months.
Yeah, go away. It's my best friend.
So I continue to stay on the phone with her. And then he pokes his head in the cabin again. And he was like, hey, I'm hopping in the shower, like letting me know he's getting in the shower. Well, my friend on the phone thought that he said, hurry up and get off the phone, which he didn't at this time, surprisingly. But he was like, what'd she just say? Like he heard her ask that. He was like, oh, hell no, I didn't say that. But if I did, you're going to get the fuck off the phone.
Oh, what?
And,
what?
And I was like, oh, we're not even about to go down this road. So I was like, hey, let me call you back. I'm about to go see what this is about. So me and my best friend hang up the phone and he's in the shower, which where the shower was an outhouse shower. So it's literally like outside. So I go in there and I was like, hey, we're not even doing this. Why are you still being controlling? Like this is getting worse and worse and all this stuff. And I was like, this is not okay. And he just starts yelling at me. He's like, you're not fucking taking a shower with me and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, then like, I guess I'll wait for you to get out of the shower. So me being petty, I grabbed the towels. That like,
oh my God, you pulled towels. Like a parent trap.
No, I love it.
I grabbed them and I go back into the cabin because I was like, well, he's going to have to run outside naked. So he comes back in and he's like, I had to dry off with the hand towel because you literally took the towels. He's like, F you. He's like, you know what? I don't even want you here anymore. Get out. He's like, I paid for this. You're not welcome here. And I'm like, dude, we are 4 hours away from where we live. Like, how am I going to leave anywhere?
Yeah.
So I don't move. So he comes over to the bed and he picks me up and starts charging at the door. And
oh my God.
I was like, what the heck? So he throws me up against the door and he's got me pinned on the door. And so I literally like have my hand on his throat and I'm like pushing him away from me and stuff like that. Well,
Ashley, oh my God.
he lets me down finally, and I go try to grab my phone to call one of the girls that were inside the next cabin, because it was just me and him in this other cabin. So the main cabin is where everybody else was. I try to call one of the girls in there, and it rang once, and he grabs my phone and shuts it off and throws it away, because I tried to be like, hey Siri, call 911, like all this stuff too.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, because he just turned my phone off and threw it. And I'm yelling at him. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm in his face, he's in my face, and he's like, fucking hit me then, fucking hit me. And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking about that ex that did hit him, and he tried to charge. So I go over to the window, because now he threw my phone, and I try to bang on the window, because there's people outside, but they have the music turned up loud. They're like,
oh no, they
hanging out.
can't hear you.
They can't hear me. So when he comes over to yank me away from the window, I get pissed off, and he's so close to me. Like, I lift my knee up to, like, I didn't kick his balls like hard or anything, but I grazed them, because I was like, back the F up, or I will like hit them hard, you know?
mean,
Yes,
self-defense
right.
is necessary in this situation.
And when I did that, it pissed him off. So he grabs my throat and like slings me on the ground, and my whole face hit the ground.
Oh my God.
So I was like, that happened. He snapped out of it. It's like he had to hurt me to quit arguing with me.
I was going to ask you, like, could you see in his, like, a change in him when he was being that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was like he saw red, and then as soon as he would hurt me, he just would stop. So then he finally was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And he goes outside and sits around the cabin, and he's just sitting on the ground crying, because he was like, I can't believe I just put my hands on you and did that, like all this stuff. And I was just like,
yeah, same, Dick.
And now you have to comfort him.
Yeah.
Yes. It escalated so fast. And we actually had a conversation before I even moved out there about abusive relationships, because I had told him about my dad, and my dad saying, I don't want something to happen to you out there, and me not being able to help you. So I had told him about that. I was like, hey, listen, everyone's worried about me coming out there, and I don't want to get out there and something does happen. You know, we talked about all this before. And he was like, no, I was raised better than that and everything, which he was. Like, I've been around his family. I know how they raised their other boys and stuff. So I was completely under the impression, like, yeah, we fought all the time, but never did I ever think that he would lay his hands on me. I think in that moment, I was just kind of shocked and taken back by, like, okay, well, you told me you would never do this. So I'm like, it's okay. I was like, we've been drinking, like, you know, just, I mean, don't let it happen again. Like, why did this even start, you know? And I mean, that was like a minor thing, so it didn't really bother me that bad. Like, I wrestled with my brothers growing up and all that stuff. Like, I can handle my own when it comes to
Sure,
that.
Yeah, but it's not about being able to handle it. It's no, you don't deserve to be abused. Like, that's abuse. It's horrible.
Yeah, so
I'm so sorry that happened.
We're just outside talking, and we decide it's midnight at this point, and he's like, let's just leave and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't want to leave right now. Like, I came here to have a good time this weekend. We haven't even tubed down the river yet or went to this concert. I was like, let's stay here, sleep it off, try to have a good day tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So we stayed the night, and we just go to sleep like nothing ever happened. Wake up the next morning, and we start going tubing down the river. Well, all of our phones are in a Ziploc bag or whatever, you know, to keep it away from the water. Yeah. So we're tubing on the river, and I see him on my phone, because we had pulled over at a little sandbar, and we're just all like hanging out there. And I see him on my phone because my phone was connected to Spotify. So I see that. Okay. But I just think that he's on my phone changing music. Well, mind you, before I moved out there, we both agreed to delete Snapchat. So I haven't had Snapchat on my phone.
Okay.
And your reasoning behind that, just, I mean, I feel like it's somewhat common knowledge, but.
Well, no, when I left that beach trip, he told me on the phone, he was like, hey, I'm going to delete my Snapchat. Like, you're about to move out here. We're going to see each other every day. I'm going to delete mine. And he never asked me to delete mine. But I was like, well, I only Snapchat him. So I was like, it would be pointless to have one.
Yeah.
So I just deleted mine and never worried about it again.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like we get off the river and we're all going to go to dinner that night and it was all going to be good. So we get back up to the house and I'm in the shower. And next thing I know, the door slings wide open and he's holding my phone with Snapchat pulled up. How he re-downloaded it is out of my mind because like you have to have email, password, all that stuff.
Oh
But
God.
I have a notes app on my old phone. I had a notes app that I literally kept locked. So I also don't know how he got into that unless he used my face when I was asleep
Yeah.
or something to
I
get
would
into
not
that.
put that past him.
And so I'm assuming that's what happened. Foreshadowing, because I'll tell you how I found that out later.
Oh God.
So next thing I know, I'm in the shower and he's holding my phone and he's showing me a picture and all these texts that I had sent to somebody like a year ago before I even had met him.
Okay.
I was like, first of all, I'm in shock because I was like, why do you have my Snapchat? Like, I've never re-downloaded that. A, and B, why are you bringing up stuff from my past? Because if I was doing something in this relationship, I could see him getting mad. But I'm like, dude, this was a year before I even knew you.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. But anyways, he just sees that, throws my phone down, calls me a whore, grabs my throat and shoves me in the shower. Which is shower is completely made of stone. So there's like a little stool that's
my
all
God.
rock and everything. And I was like, dude, I like fell against the wall and I was like, if I would have fell and hit my head or something, I would have been dead then and there. So then he runs out of the shower, the little outhouse, and I don't know where he went. But I had just got in the shower. So I'm like, well, I can't finish my shower now. And I've never seen how he would act if he was truly angry. Like I've never been around him truly mad. Like our fights are simple little fights. Like I said, it never escalated. But because I knew that the night before he had gotten so mad and already put his hands on me because of just a phone call. Now he's pulled up my phone and saw pictures and stuff. Regardless, it wasn't anything I did in that relationship. It was all in the past, but he's still so mad from seeing all this stuff. He was a lot more angry than he was the night before. So I knew what he did the night before over nothing. So it's like, well, tonight, now he's more angry. So what could he do now? And that's what did scare me the most because I didn't know what it could escalate to. I'm scared and I don't want to be locked in this cabin again, held hostage.
Right.
So I was like, well, he's not in here right now. So I threw my bikini back on and I booked it inside.
Yeah.
I ran inside to the main cabin and I ran to the first person I could find. And I showed them the bruises on my arms from the night before,
Oh
the
my
bruise I had
God.
like right here from him slamming me. And I was like, guys, this happened last night. And I was like, he's mad right now. And I don't know what's about to happen. I'm scared. And I was like, I'm bawling my eyes out right now. Cause like, first of all, we drink on the river all day. And I'm like telling them this. All of the girls, all of the guys, they go outside and they're like, we're going to go find him. Like, let's calm him down.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And so all the girls inside, they're all sitting around me and they're like, yeah, you're not the first girl this has happened to.
Oh my God. They know of others? Oh my God.
Got to remind everybody, she is here telling her story with us. She is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, spoiler alert, very good spoiler alert. She's okay. Feel like we need to remember that the whole time. It's one of those.
But it's so much, right?
I'm so angry.
My heart,
So
my heart is
angry.
racing the whole story. I'm so mad.
We'll do a deeper debrief, dogfish debrief at the end of part 2, which will be next week. But for now, we're going to put some resources in the show notes that are related to this, and we'll put more next week. And we just want to hear your thoughts and support for Ashley or anything that comes up for you. We'll be in all the comments and stuff on all of the platforms. And this is a really tough one. They're all tough, obviously. It's not like one is, everybody's got a story. So I'm just grateful she's here.
But we would love to. I mean, even though we're only kind of halfway through the story, I really want to open the floor up. So if you have any kind words that you want to share, now, or you can wait till the end, but we always relay those to our guests so they can know that they're supported. And if you have experienced something similar and you want to share your story too, make sure you email us. Tell us your story. The more we talk about it, the more it's heard, the more there's a spotlight, the more there's a community, a sense of community for everyone that needs that support. So make sure you email us. Hannah knows the email address.
Yes, I do. Investigate at thedatingdetectivespodcast.com. Oy, if you're
so smart.
I got it. But yeah, I mean, I hope that other survivors of this feel less alone hearing these stories. And if you have anything you want to share, or if you have a story that's not the same as this, even if it's a love story, I'm like, I need to talk about something happy. You can send that.
And I noticed that some people say, well, I didn't want to send in my story because it doesn't seem crazy enough. And it's like, listen, you guys, this isn't about crazy stories. This is about your personal experience.
Yeah.
And there are different levels. There's something that's not as crazy, but you still have a story to tell. You still have a platform to stand on. We will be your voice if you need it. It doesn't have to be like crazy.
And we need to redefine what trauma means, because it's not always a person in a dark alley jumping on you. Like, it is subtle. It is some people. It's most likely people you love. Like, the person that's most likely to kill you is your husband. Just saying. And also, we're always into the professional points of view in terms of any psychologists or people that work with assholes like this guy. Like, what's his deal? I don't know why I always want to have some kind of understanding of their behavior. Maybe it just makes me feel safer.
Nope. I think so many people would totally understand that. So stay tuned for next week to get the second half of the story. You guys, you're going to shit your pants. Like, you are just, it's not over. And just when you think it's over, it's not over again. And then it's not over again. And you're just, by the end of it, you're like, I don't even know. Like, what is even happening? It's wild. It's wild.
We love you guys. And we are all here for you. And we're all in this together. And as always, this is we always come back to it. Mm-hmm. Please trust your femtuition.
Trust your femtuition.
See you next week.